episodes of Two Straws.
What up? What up?
We're back with our bi-weekly.
I know. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks.
It feels like longer than it has just because it like
months.
It feels like it's been a month.
Decades.
I know you guys missed us.
You
I
did.
know.
You did. They were fiending for it. They were fiending for a couple straws in their drink.
To stir with, not snort with or anything like that.
I mean, if we're talking about fiending, could be that.
It just sounded a little,
I'm itching for it.
Exactly.
Just need one more hit. 2 straws.
We get it. We totally get it. And we're here to oblige. So there have been some big cards.
Yeah.
Since we last talked.
Yeah.
There was UFC 285.
Yes. Your card.
My card.
Yes.
I lost. We'll address that.
We gotta, unfortunately. It sucks like having a show and then having to come on and talk about things no matter what happens. Like you always know you're gonna have that, circle back to what happened in the fight. But it's always kind of like, do I have to? It's like a assignment, like a book report.
It's like, your kid gets caught like doing something funky at school and then you have to sit them down and have the talk.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't want to have this talk, but we gotta.
It's important.
It's part of the growth and healing and learning process.
Exactly.
So, yes.
So anyone avoiding the talk, Jessica has to have the talk today, so be better. Don't avoid that shit. Do the thing that you have to do that you don't want to.
Create a safe space, vulnerability, all that stuff. It's how we learn and how we grow.
Exactly.
As uncomfortable as it may be.
Yeah.
And as forced as it may be.
Oh.
It is what it is. And then we had a not so big card in between. And then we had UFC 286, which was...
It was like medium big.
I
felt like it was pretty big, but only the one fight.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It didn't feel like extremely big.
We just came from watching Jon Jones and Cyril Gahn.
I know, right?
In a huge heavyweight clash.
There was a lot of anticipation for that one.
There was a lot. I feel like that, they kind of blew their wad pretty early in the year, though, because, how are they going to top that one?
What's next? What are you going to...
I don't care.
I know, right? Connor isn't even in the testing pool right now, so...
Oh, my God. Can we talk about...
when's this motherfucker going to get in the testing pool?
He's not.
No International Fight Week for Connor fans. Sorry, guys. I know you already booked your tickets.
He ain't making it.
No.
He may be in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
He may be cheering cage side.
With Jake Gyllenhaal. Have we talked about that?
We have to talk about that. Oh, my God. We have so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about. So let's just start with 285.
Let's start with 285.
All right.
So.
Take it away.
We can start with my fight. I lost. There is... Again, we talked about this at our...
It's just
it's okay. I laugh at myself
this
too.
Conversation. I've had it so many times.
No, it's totally okay.
Yeah.
The thing that's challenging about fighting, which I love this sport, but the thing that's really challenging about only getting to fight not very frequently, only a handful of times a year, if that, maybe a couple, is that you can only learn from that fight. And you have a lot of time in between to figure out what worked, what didn't work, the adjustments to make. And that can be really challenging, especially coming off of a loss because they're not quick to book you.
Yeah.
And you just fought. So it's just you kind of just got to sit in the waiting pool.
Yeah, it really does suck. And if they are quick to book you, you should you should think about it because... There might be a reason, bring in for someone else that they want the same thing to happen to you with. I've been in that boat too, but it really is tough going from a loss to everyday life. I feel like the transition after a win is a lot smoother. You have your fight, you win, you have this kind of celebratory week. It's like a birthday week.
It is so much easier walking around and going to the grocery store if you got a black eye and stitches and you won.
Yes.
But it's a whole nother vibe if you're walking around the grocery store with a black eye after a loss.
You look like a battered woman.
Don't look at me.
Please don't look at me. The hat's pulled down.
It was pulled down. But I needed to get wine.
Yeah, I mean, of course. You got to fill up that cup.
Many times.
But after a win, you're like, hey, no makeup. Just like, looking
whatever.
Crazy.
Ask me about it.
Yes.
I'll talk about it.
Yes. Oh, did you see my black eye?
Yeah, I got this in a cage.
Yeah.
I fight people in a cage for a living.
You should see the other girl.
Yeah, totally.
She's dead. Yeah, but it's totally a different vibe.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's also like, it's just a little bit weird. Like time goes by a little bit more slowly.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like that happens after a win too. But it's just weird because you have all this anticipation as well, especially in a long fight camp, which is why I swear by short notice fights, because I'm like, I feel weird for only a second as opposed to...
And then it's like,
and
gone.
then it's gone, as opposed to feeling weird for like 4 months, getting ready to fight a person. But it's that start just like shut down. You're not training anymore. You're not like focusing on a certain task anymore. You're just kind of in this limbo of what do I do now?
Yes.
So that's always more harsh when it's a loss, because you kind of think about like, oh, what could I have done if I could go back? What would would it be different and all this stuff? At least that's where my brain goes.
I try not to let myself go there a lot because I feel like that's the hardest. And then that starts getting into this like cycle of just like really unhelpful, unproductive thoughts. Like, yes, I want to learn and grow from the experience, but I do my best to try and have as short of a memory as possible.
Goldfish brain, Ted Lasso.
What? By the way, season 3, are you starting to watch it? I'm so excited. I love the first episode.
I saw it. It was pretty good.
Yes. I'm like, I need more though. I need you to release the whole season so we can just
I need to binge that shit.
Yeah.
But it's probably better for us, because I would be snorting it up like everyone else wanted to snort up our 2 Straws episodes.
Fiend.
Yes. More Lasso. Injected into my butt. I need that feel good energy.
Woo! For those of you guys who don't know what she's talking about, the fastest way to a high sometimes is, when your nose shuts down, you go up the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you want to stream content.
Totally.
Put it in the bloodstream.
Conor McGregor doesn't know anything about that, though.
No, of course not. But I digress. So let's talk about your fight for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
How do you feel about it? What are you thinking? Like, congrats to Tabitha, by the way. She's a really sweet girl, really hard worker. Like, she's a good fighter.
Yeah. She's an up and comer. She brings a lot of tools and excitement to the cage. Mm-hmm. For me, this one is really frustrating because she showed up and I didn't. And that's where I go into, trying not to think about coulda, woulda, all these things.
Woulda, shoulda.
Just walking out, I just knew that it was going to be a really rough night for me because I just did not feel good. And in those moments, I was stuck in first gear and I couldn't get out of it. And that's the most frustrating because I'm fighting someone who is really young and hungry and is going to bring the pace. And if I let her outpace me, then I lose.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's going to be a rough one.
Yeah.
And that was really hard because I can't call in sick. I can't be like,
you know what?
I'm just
do this later.
I'm like, today's not, I'm not feeling it today. Mm-hmm. No, you still got to walk out there. You still got to put your big girl pants on and do it and then deal with the consequences afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I think it was when Cowboy Cerrone fought Conor McGregor. He talked about just having that feeling of just not wanting to be there or just not feeling like he had it in him that night, you know? Like, he might have had, like, an amazing camp. He might have felt confident up until that night. But some days you just wake up and you're like, fuck. And, you know, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's, I hadn't felt like that walking out to a fight before. And it was really fucking hard. And I got, you know, normally I get emotional walking out. You know, I'm really happy to be there. I'm really excited, but I got emotional for a completely different reason. And that was really hard. And that's just, you know, something that I get to learn and grow and reconcile from. It's not fun. It like really, really hurts. But, you know, it's all part of it. It's all part of my growing process. And, you know.
For sure. It's the name of the game, you know, like, it's just a hard one. And it's really, it's hard to compare that to anything, you know, just getting out there, putting yourself out there and having to be on point on a day where you might not feel like you're on point. Like when I talk to regular people, I try to compare it to showing up for a fight, like, getting ready for a big presentation or like a big interview where a lot rides on this one thing that you do, and your entire portfolio beforehand may have nothing to do with what happens that day. You know, and you have to cram all your energy, all your skill into this one thing that you're doing. And sometimes it doesn't come off the way that you want it to. And it's just like such a heartbreaking thing sometimes, you know, it's like, it's a tough one, but hey, I got your back. I got your back.
Do.
We'll keep on rolling, keep the positivity rolling. But despite that, the card was pretty insane. There were a lot of finishes on the card. We had the return of Jon Jones. Dude.
Bro.
We actually shared a pretty cute moment with Jon Jones.
It was a feel-good moment. It really was.
It was very Ted Lasso-X.
Yes. It was very nice.
What the hell did I just say? I said Tad Lasso-X.
Oh, I thought you said like Lassic-X. I mean, I knew what you were trying to convey.
Ted Lasso-X.
I was just going to let it slide.
No,
but
we have to. This is a podcast. People are going to be like, what the fuck did you just say?
I know. We're going to. So I was like, you know, on our, you know, promo videos, we do our little like snippet clips. I have to start putting like the word, like the subtitles, because that's how I watch TV.
Right.
I can't watch without reading it.
You don't know what they're saying.
Exactly.
Especially Ted Lasso.
There's a lot of accents.
These accents are crazy. And what this thing that you said, we don't say that. Like some weird colloquialism. Yes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Maybe if I read it, I can kind of get it, but I don't know what you said. So yeah, what I meant to say was Ted Lasso-esque.
Got it.
But yes, tell the Jon Jones story. Please.
So we had just arrived and we were in our dressing room and Jon Jones, walks through. We had a restroom and the USADA and commission testing rooms, or like their little offices, through the locker room. And so he went in, he did his business. And as he came out, we're sitting on the mat and he, says, "What's up?" He comes over, says a couple words and asks if he could give us a hug. And I was like, I need a hug.
It was very sweet.
It was really sweet.
It was very like big brother, like polar bear hug type
And since
thing.
he's so much bigger now, he is like, he's got like...
He encompassed us.
He did. He got the bear hug down.
Yeah.
Like both of us at the same time.
If you think about it, we are the size, like the two of us together are maybe close to the size of one Jon Jones. So
I don't even think we make it.
I think we're off by about 20 pounds.
I think we need a bantamweight in there.
Yeah, we need just like
2 straws and a bantam.
Yeah, 2 straws, 1 feather, and then we're good. A little cocktail. But it was a really sweet moment. He left. As he left, he said, 2 queens. I was like, oh, the spinoff. But I thought that was really sweet. And we're just like, hey, welcome back. We're going to warm up the cage for you. And he's like, yeah, let's get it. So you could tell he was happy to be back. Like, he was just like walking around like the fucking king of the court, you know? Like, every time I saw him backstage talking to the people who work there. And you have to think, like, he hasn't been in that environment in a long time.
He's got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of hands to shake, lots of babies to kiss.
Yeah.
You know, lots of people want, you know, to get their time with
their
the king.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yes. No, he's definitely I feel like he's definitely more of a poster child for the UFC than a Conor McGregor, because he came up before him, but also like he's just always been that GOAT. Like, he's never lost. He's defended his title so many times. He came in super young too, so I think still the youngest champion to win in the UFC. And he just kind of is a staple in the sport. So the fact that he was always in the cut, kind of saying that he was going to come back, but it never actually happened. When he finally did, I think everyone was just in awe of the fact that it's happening. Like, oh wow, it's finally happening. I wonder what's going to happen. And
I mean, we've been talking about it for so long that I just kind of...
I just assumed it was never going to happen.
I think it's probably never going to happen.
Yeah. But it happened. In magnificent effect. Dude, it was insane how he put away Cyril Gane.
Who is so impressive.
He's so impressive. He has starched so many strikers, has like been on, you know, the good end of every decision except for the last one against Ngannou. We knew the takedowns were probably going to be like part of the game plan. But when Jon Jones shot in on Cyril Gane, it was like the easiest thing ever. Like, he just went, bloop, took him down, made him work a bit, and then as he was getting up, sunk in that guillotine.
It was just, it was effortless. as a huge heavyweight title fight could possibly be.
Right?
Just how he imposed his will, his game plan on somebody who is, you know, number two.
He's good.
He's really, really talented.
He's so good. He was number one until that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
just
crazy.
It's so impressive that he was gone for as long as he was. He, you know, went through this transformation, and he came back better.
Yeah.
He did not lose a beat. He gained some beat. He gained ground. Like, how did you do that? My God.
Some beats, all right. So a lot of people are making fun of his physique.
Well,
including me.
I remember.
I was guilty.
I remember every time it showed up, she was like, "Have you seen this?"
I'm like, why would they post that? No, it's like when we're trying to take a cute picture and we don't hit the angle right, you know. So you look more like a refrigerator instead of like a curvy Coke bottle. Like, they set him up. So
there
were a few pictures where they set Jon Jones up.
These photographers, man, they are cold-blooded.
Yes.
I have seen some of my pictures that they've sent me, you know, in the little app thing. Yeah. Like, oh, the UFC has sent you pictures. And I look and I'm like, why that one? Why? Why would you do that one out of all pictures?
Yeah. Why is the contrast so boosted?
What the fuck is your problem? What are you trying to do?
Filter. Where's the airbrush?
Where's Paris me?
Yes.
Put a Paris on it.
Yeah. Get rid of that pimple. You know I don't want that pimple there.
God. Why did you do that? They did Jon Jones dirty.
They did him dirty. Like, those photos should not have seen the light of day. It was like, he looked good from straight on, but he hit the 3/4 view and you can see the little poofa. The little
And not only that, but he was probably like in between breaths.
Yeah.
He was relaxed, and he had just gone from like a breath hold pose where you're flexing really, really hard, and you relax, and they took the picture.
Yeah, he was breathing out.
They're dicks.
It was like a little belly breathe. Yeah, so that just photo rude. Was it was pretty bad. It definitely helped the optics of Jon Jones not being ready. So maybe that let Cyril Gane like let his guard down a bit. excuse me. And maybe that added to how quickly he was able to take him out of there.
I don't know, man. I don't see him taking that stuff seriously. You cannot rely on your opponent coming in out of shape.
Especially at heavyweight. Like, look at Derek Lewis. You know, look at Tai Tuivasa. Look at
I feel like Derek Lewis is not the best
Roy
example.
Nelson.
Oh my God, Big Country.
The original.
Oh my God,
Big
Ben
Boy.
Rothwell.
Yes, like
Yeah.
those guys are explosive as shit, strong, fucking durable, sturdy, good
Cardio
at
for
ripping
days.
shit. Yeah.
I
So
can't put Derek Lewis in that category though.
Derek Lewis can throw a head kick 5th round of a fight. You know, like that's. I'm gonna leave it at that. A jumping switch kick at that. Have you seen his jumping switch kick?
It's not like a jumping switch kick though that like a flyweight would throw.
It's like a skip.
Yeah.
It's more like a skip it.
Thank
Remember
you.
skip
Thank
it?
you. Yeah, you're exaggerating just I was good at skip it.
I never had one, but I always
was
wanted
good.
one.
I was good.
My friend had one, and I was like fucking jealous. But it's like a skip it head kick, but it was still good. It's still fast.
It's like when I try to do a flying knee.
No,
like,
you're
no explosion.
You're
No
flying
explosion
knee.
whatsoever.
Actually, like you get up there, you have the flexibility in the hips.
I like this. And then my ankles are like, no, stop it.
Wait, where's the floor? Gotta be ready for that floor when you jump up there.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, Jon Jones looked amazing. There were a few more fights on there, but
Valentina Shevchenko,
yo, how the fuck?
freaking Alexa Grasso. What the
Wow.
heck?
So I was really impressed with Alexa in the first round. Because she was putting it on her. She was like stopping her with straight punches. And then she had some really good cage control. But then after the first round, Shevchenko started getting a rhythm.
Yep.
Started finding where to attack, where to get the takedowns and stuff. And Shevchenko was schooling Grasso for the next 2 rounds. But then in the 4th, she had this moment of brilliance. Her in her corner, they had seen in tape that Shevchenko likes to throw the spinning things, and they plan to take the back.
Well, she had thrown it like a couple times in that fight. I think I don't remember how many times, but I knew she threw it, and she stuck it too.
Yeah. She likes to throw that spinning kick when they circle out, when they like disengage, because they're gonna come right back in, and then spin kick comes out, and it can freak you out from coming back in too hard because you don't want to eat that to the liver. It sucks.
That hurts.
It sucks so much.
That one hurts.
So she drew it out. Valentina spun, and she jumped on that back. The timing was perfect. It was
Oh my gosh.
beautiful. And what did you think about how she took the back? Because it was so fast from the spin to Grasso jumping on the back. She got her arm under her neck immediately, and Shevchenko didn't even really fight the hands.
She didn't. She didn't.
Why?
I mean, sometimes there are moments when somebody snatches, because she didn't. It's not like she technically progressed. She jumped on it.
I'm on your back, and I'm rear naked choking you right
Yes,
now.
because this is my one and only opportunity, and I've got to take it, and I've got to put everything into it, which she had to, and she did.
Yeah.
And it was successful. And it's sometimes there's just these moments when you're when somebody does something that's a little bit unorthodox or kind of, I don't know, just not the way you're used to being trained with, that catches you off guard.
Yeah.
It really, really does. And it can take you out of it for long enough to where the other person can capitalize.
What? Oh yeah. Fight the hands. It's too late.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember it was more up on her face, I thought. I thought she thought that maybe she was getting out, and maybe just the pressure she couldn't bear it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. My theory is that because she jumped on her while she was in motion, she didn't prioritize fighting the hands as much as bracing on the floor because as soon as she jumped on there, she was going face down into the floor. Yeah. And I think if she had like at least anticipated that this was a possibility, she would have gone straight to like, you know, grabbing her arm, trying to fight the hands, trying to like at least push the elbow up off of her face. But it was a surprise, like you said. So she's like, ah. And then that's when it sunk in. And a lot of times, like, that little millisecond is the difference between surviving and having to tap out.
Yeah, it was really impressive. It's hard. Like, I'm not emotionally vested in either one, but I admire and respect both women. Mm-hmm. And so it's like seeing Shevchenko lose that way, it's like, it's kind of hard. You know, she has this, like, mystique about her. Yes, I thought that she lost a previous fight. That's neither here nor there. But she has this like mystique about her, you know? And then you have Alexa Grasso, who I'm like, all right, she kind of got this title shot kind of fast. Yeah. I'm not mad at it. I understand how she got there and why she got there. I think she deserves it. But it's just like this up and comer. So there's also like, oh man, like I kind of wanted to get it. Yeah. But then I want Shevchenko to keep her mystique and this like, you know, this like superhero kind of thing going on, but then like, oh man, wouldn't that be an amazing story if Alexa Grasso won? Yeah. You know, it's just kind of conflicting. And like, I would have been, again, not emotionally invested, but bummed for the story, you know, the end of the story. And then also really excited for whoever won. So
what do you mean? Like you're bummed for Shevchenko's story?
I would be bummed for like the end of her story, you know, losing the belt. Mm-hmm. I would have been sad for Alexa, you know, losing
her opportunity.
But then also really excited for the storyline of both of them to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, like we have a storyline now because there's a possibility of a UFC Mexico City. They love that show because they have like one of the biggest arenas in the world and people come out, they sell it out every time they go to Mexico City. So there's a possibility now because you have Alexa Grasso, you have Yair Rodriguez, and you have Brandon Moreno, who could all like easily headline a 3 title.
There is no way that that's going to happen and there's not going to be another freaking riot anytime. Oh so I've been a guest fighter in Monterrey. I've been a guest fighter at Mexico City. And every single time it is like damn near terrifying. Yeah. The amount of security that is necessary for fighters just to walk around.
More or less than Brazil?
You know, I've never been to UFC in Brazil. But
was anyone mugged in Mexico when you were there? Yes? Multiple? Just one?
Just one. Okay. Just one. But they wouldn't let us walk around without an armed guard. Yeah. And like military escorts. Yeah. Like it's insane.
It's definitely a thing. Like I was surprised. I thought we were just trying to get through traffic the first time I fought in Mexico City. But I'm like, oh, they might kidnap me. Yeah. That's a possibility. Oh, okay. I get it now. But you know, that passion is why they go there because the fans are like hyped to be there. Everything sells out. They sell all the bootleg T-shirts in the stands next to it. You know, like it really is like a big thing for the city when the UFC comes to town. And even the last time I fought in Mexico City, I fought there twice. We stayed at the same hotel, and I got a note from I ran into one of the guys who were working there the first time I was there. Years later, like at least, I think 4 or 5 years later, and he remembered me, and he's like, Aww. oh, Miss Angela, I remember when you came here last time. I hope you enjoy your stay. And it's just, you can tell that the people are really excited to have you there, and they really appreciate fighters, and Mexico just has that like fighting spirit, like just years of history with boxing and now MMA. So I would be stoked to go to that card if that happened because it would be insane. Oh yeah. But you know, if you're fighting there and you win and you're not Mexican, watch
Run.
Bring an umbrella for the beers.
Oh my God.
But I think that would be insane. And I think Shevchenko is a down motherfucker. She would be down to go into enemy territory and snatch her belt back. Like that's her vibe. But I do remember rewatching the Santos versus Shevchenko fight, and I saw some of the same mistakes she made in that fight in the Grasso one. Like little moments where she would get a little frustrated and try to just like go for a big takedown. And there are kind of those sacrifice takedowns where if you aren't in the right exact spot, you don't have the weight loaded properly, then you end up on your back. And she ended up doing that like once or twice in the fight. And it started, it started to feel like she didn't address the issues from the Santos fight because maybe she didn't feel like she needed to. She felt like she passed that test already. Yeah. She won the fight, so she's not rematching her. She's moving on to this girl who's a boxer. She has a submission, but she probably dropped the girl first before I think she dropped JoJo before she subbed her. Grasso did. So I definitely feel like Shevchenko is taking her ground game not too seriously. And now that she doesn't have the belt anymore, she has that fire to really focus on that and get better and come back stronger. So I would love to see that rematch happen in Mexico City. And she's probably going to get the rematch, right?
She'll get it immediately.
Yeah, she must. She's such a dominant champion.
There's no way that they wouldn't. There are girls in line, but nobody, I think, could really like overstep that opportunity. And it's got to be in her contract too. She gets an immediate rematch if she loses the belt.
It must be. If not, the fans would be livid. Yes. But I think it's okay to jump ahead to UFC 286. We had kind of a similar thing with Edwards versus Usman.
Man.
Him getting that Hail Mary in the last round in their second fight, the last one that we saw. And now we got to see Leon Edwards. Who did you think was going to win before last night?
I was interested to see the shape of Leon Edwards because he fought in altitude. He doesn't necessarily train in altitude the way Kamaru Usman does. So I was really interested to see how much of a factor that could have been in the second fight. And I think he showed that, it very well could have been, something that really dragged him down. Yeah. If you don't live in altitude and train in altitude for a fight in altitude, it's taxing.
It sucks. Go back to my first Mexico City fight.
You know better than anyone.
I was in the mud. It almost feels like one of those dreams where you're fighting, but you can't quite throw the punch. You're just like, it takes everything in your body just to jab. Yeah. Like that's what it feels like.
I've fought in altitude before, but I got there right before weigh-ins. I weighed in, and then I fought the next day. I felt a little labored. Yeah. But nothing compared to what I felt when I was a guest fighter in Mexico City and I woke up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. And I thought I was going to die.
Oh, no.
From the walk across the hotel room to the restroom, back to the bed, I thought I was going to die.
No.
Dead.
That
die.
Shit happens.
It is insane.
It's weird. You feel like the sky is on your chest.
Yeah.
Like you can actually feel gravity up there, like beating down on you. It's really horrible. It's like how they say in the planets closer to the sun, your weight is like tripled or a million times heavier. I'd be like 10,000 pounds on Mercury or some shit. That's what it feels like. The closer I get to the altitude or to the universe, what is that thing called? The thing that's on the outside of the Earth.
Ozone?
Yeah, the closer I get to that atmosphere or something, ozone, the heavier I feel. So you can feel that coming down on your chest, like when you first get to altitude. And it's funny because you either do it the way that you did it when you fought. You come in, you weigh in, and then you fight the next day.
And you're good.
You
like just miss it.
You're getting on the plane, you're like, fuck, I'm tired. I'm tired. Good thing I'm going home. Or you stay for at least 3 weeks and you acclimate. And that second week is fucked. But then third week, you start to bottom out and then you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really rough if you don't know that.
Science.
Yeah, you're
It's
like,
a thing.
I'll be fine. Mine never matter. And then you're in the fight like, fuck.
No, it's real.
But lucky for Leon, he was able to overcome that and get that knockout in the 4th round and get a do-over. And from the second fight, it really did seem like he had Usman's number.
He really did. It was, I think it came down to strategy. What I saw Usman do was he knows that he's a dominant wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, he knows that he can, take him down and score and get a victory that way by holding him down. But what I saw was Leon was stuffing the takedowns, making it hard. And Usman wasn't making the adjustments to just not wrestle.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while he would throw a punch on the break, but he wasn't really punching, landing to get in, and then mixing it up. He just kept going for the takedown. And I think they said that he was, what was it? He only got 3 out of however many takedown attempts.
Wow.
And that's unlike Usman. Usman gets you, he's going to get you.
Well, the couple takedowns that he got looked really easy. Like, he just got him effortlessly. Like, I remember there was, like, a single leg. It was just like, bop, dump, like a wrestling drill.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
He wasn't capitalizing with punches and scoring, so it just looks like he took him down. And then Leon was getting up really well. Even when Usman did get him down with ease, he wrestled back up, and Usman wasn't scoring off of it. So I understand the scorecards. I understand why they would give it to Leon.
Yeah. What did you think about the point deduction?
I thought it was fair.
Yeah.
I really did. I did.
I feel like they should have started him on the ground without a point deduction. I'm not sure. I feel like maybe there should be a choice. Like, if the fighter who was fouled against thinks that they could finish from that position and they don't want to go through taking him down again, then they can say, start me on the ground. Well, or if they just want the point deduction, if they want to know I won that round, now I can make it a 10-8, then start on the feet. Usman wanted both. He was like, hey, why aren't we starting on the ground? And I don't think, this must be a new rule, because we didn't see this until last weekend, where it was Davy Grant versus Rafael Asuncao. And Davy Grant did the same thing, held the cage, stopped the takedown from happening. Asuncao was like, going for a Hail Mary takedown, like, this is all I got. And the takedown didn't happen. Took a point from Davy Grant, but then Asuncao ended up getting knocked out. Or submitted, sorry. So, I feel like this must be a new rule. Like, the fence grab has to be addressed immediately if it affects the fight, but it's going to be a point deduction, but you don't start on the ground. And I'm not sure if that's fair, because some fighters might prefer just starting on the ground without the point deduction.
I mean, I get that. I hear that. I'm pretty sure I remember Herb Dean saying, I can't put you on the ground because I don't know where the takedown would have ended up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just one. It was like, hold on, claw. Yeah. It was like trying to put a cat in a bathtub. Uh-huh. Like, he was really, like, he grabbed the fence a lot. I'm not mad at the point deduction, but I also understand that we don't know where he was going to land.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you, and that could yes, the fence grab could completely change the course of a fight, but so could putting somebody in a position that we don't know exactly how they would land.
Yeah, but if you used all your energy to get him to the ground and that was like your last bit of gas for that, how distraught are you about the fact that you have to stand in front of them again? Especially when this guy is like a better striker than you. You're like, it took everything in your power to get in and get on this leg, and then they take that away.
Oh yeah, no, it's devastating. It completely changes the course of the fight. It could, mess with you mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, it's devastating. It's hard though to pick what's right in that situation. I think the point was valid. I understood that you can't necessarily pick exactly where he was going to land.
Yeah.
And that's a hard decision to make.
Maybe taking the point, but starting them in that, because
In
I
the
think
same
he was in like a
position.
single leg.
Yeah,
or something.
I get that. I'm
Starting
for
him
that.
there, yeah.
I'm for that. But to put somebody on the ground is hard if they weren't already there.
Yeah.
If we didn't see where he was going to land, like if he didn't touch down and hit like just even briefly, I think that's challenging.
Yeah.
But I am all for putting them in the same position that the foul happened. If that makes sense.
And I wonder why they didn't decide to do that.
No, they
Because
didn't.
It seems like the easiest solution. Like, okay,
Yeah.
take a point and then start back on the leg. You already used your energy to take him down and it didn't happen. So, like, it's all is fair.
No, I agree with you
And
there.
I think that's what used to happen, right? Like, they used to start him back in that whatever position they stopped him in. But
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while. I don't think I've seen like really awful fence grabs. And like normally the refs they'll catch it and bat the hand so that they let go and then they get, taken down. It's usually caught, but so yeah, I haven't seen this situation in a while.
Yeah, this one was definitely one that swayed the fight because he was swinging him like a flag, and Edwards just grabbed briefly, but it definitely kept him upright. So,
oh yeah.
I'm trying to find the scorecard to see what happened with that, but one person scored a draw.
It was it was a draw, and then two had it. What was it? 48? No, wait.
Must have been 49-47.
47-48?
49-47.
Okay. I think that's what it was. The two judges had it the same score, and then one had it a draw.
Or 47-48. No, 47-48.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. It was... Oh, no, that's not... All right, fight... I hit the button.
Oh, no.
Not
Not the button.
I hit the button.
No.
I hit an ad, and then I hit... these things.
The worst.
Oh, they're the worst. Okay, here we go. Okay, one judge scored 48-46. Ben Cartilage. Oh, we know that guy. Another judge scored 48-46. Chris Lee. And then the last one, 47-47. I kind of felt like 47-47 was the most fair score. Because of the point deduction, I felt like Usman had 2 rounds in the bag. And I felt like that was a fair score. But these other judges only gave Usman the round that he got the point deduction in.
They didn't give him the second?
They gave Usman... Yeah, they only were... Chris Lee gave Usman the 3rd round. And actually... Wait, how does this work? Ben Cartilage gave Usman the... Oh, okay. Ben Cartilage gave Usman the 4th round. And that's it. So Cartilage and Chris Lee both only gave Usman 1 round.
I would give him 2. I forget which round it was.
I thought it was the 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
I thought 2nd and 3rd, Usman did his due diligence, was looking good, and then Leon Edwards took it away in the last 2.
Yeah, I gave Leon the first with all those freaking left kicks. My God.
Dude.
Oh, my stomach just like ached for him.
Ugh.
I was like, God.
Like, how
Stop
is he still
hitting him
going?
in the same spot.
That was payback for altitude. You feel the same way.
Oh, my God.
Altitude basically feels like you got kicked in the liver.
God. Yeah. He
Right
kicked him
before
so
you
many
walked
times. I was like, oof.
Yeah.
He's trying to take him down a notch for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, so that's really odd because I did not see Usman win in the 4th round, but that was what Ben Cartilage gave him.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And neither of the judges gave Usman the 2nd round. And I thought the 2nd round was
I thought the
pretty clear.
second round, Usman got it.
Yeah, and I think his coaches did too. So I get why people are saying, like, hey, Usman won that. But I also feel like if you don't count the fence grab, if you don't count the point deduction, then it's Leon Edwards' fight. So maybe that's probably why Usman has been very respectful, because he felt like he lost 3 out of 5 rounds. But there's definitely a case for a draw, I feel like.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know, I never even take draws into consideration in MMA because they're like the so white rare. Whale. They're the unicorn. They're like, they just don't happen, even though they honestly like could and should in a lot of situations. They just don't, like, they don't do that.
Yeah, you're not allowed. What's wrong with you, Dave Latherby? Latherby. What were you thinking? How could you let that happen? So I see the case with that. Another close fight on 286 was Vittori versus,
how do you say it?
Diolzi? How do you say it?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. The Vittori fight.
That guy.
The Vittori fight. It was super close though. So I'm not like mad at the split decision.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a really hard fight to judge. And could have been a draw. Could have gone either way. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. What are your feelings on Marvin Vittori?
Personally or as a fighter? I don't know. I don't know him personally.
What else?
I don't know him personally, but as a fighter, I think he's kind of inconsistent. Like I think that he does the same thing, and sometimes he does it better times than other. He reminds me of kind of like a cartoon character in some ways. He
does.
Like a lovable, dopey cartoon character.
I like him. I think
you would.
I think he's like, yeah, like you said, a lovable cartoon character. I think he's just like wears every emotion on his sleeve.
Yeah.
And it's really funny.
No.
Like I don't know. I think it's adorable. And the fact that he's Italian just makes it even more of a stereotype, and I love it.
I know.
You know,
I know. We use the hands a lot, and sometimes you can't understand what they're saying because they're not articulating anything very well.
It's like an Italian Biff from fucking time travel movie. What's the name of that movie? Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No, he really does. He even looks like a little bit like him.
Yeah,
you know?
No, exactly. So I really like him. Any other fights you want to talk about?
Yes, but I think we should take a break and come back for our exclusive content. So come on back, y'all.
Come on back on Fightpass on YouTube.